Hey everyone, Rogue Gold here, and this morning we have some incredibly exciting information, and that is that The Division's very first spin-off game has just been announced. You can see it on the screen right there. The Division Heartland is a Ubisoft original standalone game coming from Red Storm Entertainment. Now, I will admit I knew this was coming. I at least knew the very basic plans of what it was, but I couldn't fully share it with you guys. I put out a lot of theory videos that I thought this was going to happen, and it has now come true today. We just got an announcement post from Ubisoft themselves. I thought they were going to save this for E3. That's why I was kind of hyping that up so much in my previous video, but I guess they're going to share it today, and I couldn't be more excited. I assume we're going to get a greater look at what this is come E3, which is in just over a month. But today, we get to learn about the title, we get to learn about some other stuff behind the scenes of how the franchise is expanding, and this is just an incredibly exciting day for all Division fans. So I'm going completely off script with this one. They just released this article less than 5 minutes ago. So bear with me if I repeat myself a few times or whatever, but we're going to cover this article. I'm going to give my thoughts and we're going to go into everything. So let's get started. So let's read through some of the important paragraphs here. An update on Tom Clancy's The Division universe. Hello everyone. When we launched Tom Clancy's The Division in 2016, the team at Ubisoft Massive and all of our studios around the world had high ambitions for what was then the first completely original IP under the Tom Clancy's umbrella since 2009. Not to mention, it was also an ambitious game unlike anything Ubisoft had ever produced before. Thanks to you, our fans, the reception of The Division exceeded our expectations, breaking multiple Ubisoft records. You continued showing phenomenal support in the years since, playing with and against each other across major post-launch content for the original game. You also came along with us for the highly anticipated launch of The Division 2, making it one of the most successful games of 2019, and its 2020 expansion, The Division 2 Warlords of New York, the most active in the game's history. Through all of this, you have created an incredible community of over 40 million players, setting the franchise on an expanding trajectory that now includes more games and more transmedia content set within the Division universe that we're unveiling today. While work continues on The Division 2, other Ubisoft teams have been exploring additional ways to introduce The Division to even more players. Today, we're pleased to share that Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland is a free-to-play game set in the Division universe. It is in development at our Red Storm studio. Having worked on Tom Clancy games since 1997, its extensive experience across numerous genres and games, most recently The Division and The Division 2, makes Red Storm a perfect fit for this project. Heartland is a standalone game that does not require previous experience with the series, but will provide an all-new perspective on the universe in a new setting. This game will be made available in 2021 to 2022 on PC, consoles, and cloud. Those interested in participating in its early test phases can sign up here. Heartland isn't only the new game in development, The Division will also be coming on mobile platforms for the very first time, bringing the franchise to an even wider audience. We'll have more details on this exciting project at a later date. So right away, oh my god, 2 new games. I mean, we have 1 new game in Heartland and then this other mobile game, which obviously is kind of less than a full game, but still, it means that Ubisoft is doubling down, tripling down on their commitment to the franchise. I think that's what a lot of people have been missing for the last year, maybe even 2 years, and this is just such an exciting announcement. I really can't wait. But they have a few more interesting things here, not quite as big as that, but let's cover them really quickly. So in this paragraph, they just mentioned the new content coming to Division 2 with the help of Ubisoft Bucharest. We've kind of heard about that before. And then down here, they also mention, and if that's not enough, we also have the Division film in development with Netflix thanks to Ubisoft Film and Television. Inspired by the events of the original game, the film will star Jessica Chastain and Jake Gyllenhaal, and we recently announced that Rawson Marshall Thurber is at the helm as director. So I'm really excited for that film. If you haven't seen on Twitter, I've been retweeting and talking a lot with Rawson, or I haven't been talking with him, but I've been, commenting on a lot of their stuff because he did an interview with Bon Diesel. He's been asking the community for help with building the authenticity of the film. So that's just going to be another really awesome addition to the franchise. This last part says, this film also marks the first big step in a broader plan to expand the Division universe's transmedia offerings. With that in mind, we're revealing an original novel coming from our publishing partners at, don't really know how to say that, Aconite. This new story is set after the events of The Division 2 and explores how the outbreak affects different regions of the United States as agents fight to secure supply routes. So there we go. We have another novel coming. If you haven't read the previous ones, which was the New York Collapse was for the first game, and then Broken Dawn was the Division 2 tie-in one, they're really good. And to see another novel coming is just honestly really exciting. And now you can see this roadmap that shows the entirety of what is planned for the Division coming up. And what's crazy is that you look, and even though Division's been out for 5 years, those first 5 years only encompass the first 3 points on that timeline. The next thing up after Warlords of New York is the Division Heartland, then the new content for the Division 2, then Division Mobile, then that Division novel, and finally the Division film. So this is just, mind-blowing that this franchise has, just with this announcement, gone from having two main games that were obviously incredibly popular, but now they're expanding into several, mediums of content and media and everything. It's just so crazy. Now, after this point, I don't think there's a ton more super exciting. I'll just finish this off. It's an exciting time to be a fan. We can't thank you enough for your continued support of the Division, and we also want to thank all of our teams that continue to improve, grow, and expand upon its universe. We know many of you are eagerly awaiting more details on all of these projects, and we will be sure to share them with you as soon as we are ready, so stay tuned. That's all for now. Signing off. And then that's the executive director of Ubisoft EMEA. So that is, of course, a ton to unpackage, but like I just said, the most exciting thing here for me, well, obviously the new game is the most exciting, but just seeing how much Ubisoft is doubling down on expanding this universe and making it a real stake in the corner of pop culture is just so awesome to me. And I think anyone who was doubting it before today really doesn't have much ground to stand on anymore, because all these announcements it's just spectacular. But let's talk a bit about what I think is going to be the most exciting reveal for everyone today, and that is the Division Heartland, the standalone spin-off game that, at least according to that timeline, is coming to us sooner than the new content for the Division 2. I assume they're probably going to release pretty close to one another, so that puts it at either late this year or early next year. So let's talk about it a little bit. Like I said, I did have an idea that this was coming before they announced this today. I mean, I made videos in the last, 4 or 5 months about how I think Red Storm was developing a spin-off game. And if you've watched those, you know that in that, I said that I thought it was going to be a PvP-focused game, maybe like a survival or battle royale spin-off. And while they don't state it in the article, from what I've heard, from what I've, seen going on around, everything around here, I think that this game is going to be a battle royale spin-off game that is set, at least by judging by that photo that they put for the Division Heartland, in rural America. Now again, that is not confirmed. Don't take that and spread around and say this is for sure what's happening, because they did not say that in the article. But just from what I've heard and from my own predictions right now, I think that is what we're going to see probably at E3 in just over a month. And so that's incredibly exciting. We haven't had any new Division new Division PvP content ever really since, you could say TU6 of Division 2, because that's when we got a new map for conflict. But let's be real, we haven't really gotten anything new for PvP since the Division 2 came out in March of 2019. So to see this new game that's most likely going to be a PvP-focused spin-off is just incredibly exciting. As a PvP person myself, I'm just so stoked. But even for just anyone that's a fan of the franchise, all these announcements today are just really stellar. So I think for now, that's probably going to do it, guys. We covered that announcement. I talked about the Heartland. We're going to definitely make more videos talking about this stuff, but I just wanted to get this big announcement out there just so that everyone can see it, because I think now this is really a time for us all to rejoice and kind of regroup together, because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming for this franchise, and I really couldn't be any more excited. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on to be updated every time I upload. More so than ever, please let me know your thoughts on all of this stuff down in the comments below. This is just probably the biggest news we've had for this game and this franchise ever since the Division 2 was announced. So I'm really curious what you guys are thinking today. What all these different announcements and projects and everything are making you feel, because I'm certainly very excited, and I hope you are too. Special shout out to the guy who was telling me that I was negatively affecting the community and my channel by being optimistic about the future of the Division. I hope you show up in these comments, bro. I really want to have a chat with you, because I think we have some beef now, because this, to me, shows that we have really incredibly exciting stuff coming for the Division. And I told you guys you just had to be a little bit patient, wait for E3. We didn't even have to wait that long. We got the announcement today, but I think we're going to see even more of this stuff at E3. So yeah, I've said this a million times, but I'm just so excited, and I really hope you guys are too. Thank you again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, everyone. And until the next one, guys, Rogue Gold out.